the beast hasn't found you yet. The forest around you is thick canopy. The colors dark blues and greens, illuminated by the flittering of bioluminescent insects. The snow seems to have not reached this area. It's a temperate forest, like an early autumn, something you haven't felt in feels like a long time. You can still hear the sounds of whatever that thing is left behind in the clearing. But you've moved far enough away to where you're not immediately being chased by it. Um, as you're uh, as you've moved into the northwest to escape the beast, I know some of you were bloodied and some of you not. Give us a quick kind of description of the state of your character so the others kind of know how you're looking.
Esmond is he's looking better than when he had when first woken up. Hasn't taken any additional attacks after Aurea did that mass heal on a number of the group. But he is alert and keeping an eye on everything between himself, Zephyrus, and Typhon.
Casey is entirely topless, his studded leather armor having been ripped away by the one of the plant creatures. Yeah, he's not bloodied, but he does have some cuts and scrapes in here and there. His hair is kind of wild and bright with little flecks of smoke coming off of it periodically. But seems happy. He's kind of grinning and looking at the others and periodically back at the towards the direction of the sounds of the beast.
Sal looks like someone who's just woken up in a bramble patch and then ran. Since that was, 12 seconds ago, something like that for him. Disheveled, clothes a little bit torn and shredded, some seams kind of messed up, and looks out of sorts. So keeping up, but not as alert or as aware, and certainly not as coiffed as Casey seems to be, comfortably running shirtless past the combat we just left.
I think Peach is a few steps ahead of Salinger. She's keeping a close eye on him and Fane. Although actually Fane ran off to be near Aurea, right? Yeah. So she's keeping a close eye on Salinger. But she's skipping ahead in a way that shows she's relatively uninjured. She's got some torn skirts and her hair's a mess, but she's moving and more winded, out of breath than bloodied or injured in any way. And she's encouraging everybody, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, let's faster, faster, faster. Let's go, let's go. Trying to put as much space between us and the thing behind us as possible.
I think Ishtalan is actually looking in pretty good shape. Perhaps given the little dribble of healing potion that's probably still running on her cheek as they're running through the forest. Or the undergrowth here, what undergrowth there might be. She keeps her head in a swivel both to keep an eye on their back trail and to look around to try and locate the people that the rest of her friends, the people who are supposed to be along, one hand is at her pouch, keeping a hold on something inside, ready to cast a spell the moment that she thinks everyone is within a close enough range.
Yeah, as you look around, having fled from the beast, those of you who are here present, you're able to see each other. But it seems as though perhaps the others were separated from you in the course of your fleeing. You find yourselves hiding among some fallen trees and thicker brush. There is the staccato sound of whatever the beast's limbs are striking the ground. You can tell there's more than 4 limbs. With a moment of the seems as though you found a place to hide, but there's no sign yet of the others.
Casey does reach a hand up to his chest and waves it in a particular way while speaking a low, ignorant word as he casts Cure Wounds on himself.
Somsel pops her head up out of a bush, looks around. Is everybody okay?
Been worse. I'm more worried about is everyone here.
A little rattled, but missing a couple, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't like our numbers currently. Peach would kind of squeeze Salandra's hand if he'd let her, and she'd say, "Hey, stay real close to me, okay? Just in case. Just stay like within reach. I'm not gonna lose you again, all right?"
Yeah, of course. Did anybody get a look at that thing thundering up behind us?
Oh, but did you hear how many legs it has? And it's enormous.
Seemed a little frustrated at those vines being destroyed. It seemed good to get out of there as quickly as possible. So no, I can't say that I got to look at it either.
It seemed like when that big one caught on fire, well, it was almost like it was screaming. There was spores going up in the air.
Do you think it's sort of a hive kind of thing?
I don't know, but it didn't seem like a coincidence. It seemed like whatever that thing was, it came.
This might be a big angry mother. She's still looking around. I thought I saw. I thought I saw a pretty girl and puppy as well, and some stranger. Anyone seeing them?
So looks around. I don't see them here, but yeah, there was someone I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, I remember him too.
I'd yelled run west. Did they? Maybe they ran the same direction as us.
Maybe they don't know the direction very well and they ran the opposite way.
Yeah, there seemed like a lot of confusion about which way was east and which way was west.
Hopefully
Wait, which direction did we run into again?
Oh my god, we all ran west, and you all really, really need to take my social studies class. I'll teach you a compass.
I mean,
Hopefully everyone is smart enough to at least run away from the sound. We'll give it maybe 5 more minutes before we keep moving. I don't like the idea of staying too close. And it seems that... What was his name? Cord?
Yeah, we need to find him.
And kill him.
Yeah.
I can't remember. How did we even get here? We were walking in the forest, and then
All right, so the way I remember it, we were walking in the forest and we all really had to focus on where we were supposed to go. So I figured we'd all focus on, trying to get to Lux because that's where we agreed to be. And I don't know, then it seemed we were there. But that was just nothing. Turned out we'd walked into whatever this all was. So wherever Rhea is, she's gonna give us all a tongue lashing. We're gonna get that hellish rebuke.
as you seek to remember, let me have everyone here roll a charisma saving throw, DC 25.
It's literally impossible for me, but I rolled anyway.
Oh,
better than
so
I
close,
expected.
actually. So close.
I assume I'm here.
Yeah, if you're ready, you hear a bit of rustling in the nearby bushes. It's not a creature that emerges. It's good.
You said it was a charisma saving throw?
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Longshanks?
1 second, I'm waiting for my thing to load.
Kibeth, you also still have Bane, I believe.
I have Bane?
Because you ate and were satisfied in the dream.
The Bane's worn off. Actually.
Oh, okay, never mind. You don't.
Actually, I'm gonna be that guy. Aren't we all exhausted?
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't
Yes,
affect
but
saving throws.
Okay.
It's one exhaustion
saving
level,
throws.
right?
Excuse me.
How many points is it to do a reroll again? 2 now?
Mm-hmm. 2.
You can set your
I might
exhaustion level.
try to see if
on
I
your-
can pass.
You can set your exhaustion level on your character sheet, by the way, and it should tell you what you have to submit. John, I don't know if it automatically adjusts your rolls, but it's there.
So Peach is spending 2 points of spice to do a reroll. Oh,
To pass this saving throw, I'm so charming.
I am sending you a message.
Chris, I have advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects. Is this apply?
This is a magical effect.
I don't like the sound of that.
That helped me a lot. It's a 14.
No, but not a spell, though, right? It's just a magical effect. Chris?
Not a spell, no.
He's typing us something terrible to me.
As we're all getting settled in, and Kibeth just emerged from the bushes, Sal's eyeing the local plant life suspiciously after their recent encounter.
Kibeth kind of looks at him and says, "Remember, I can eat anything without much repercussion."
You're the goat in that way?
Oh my god, you beat me to it. I was thinking, where is the goat? Where is the goat joke? Where is the goat joke?
While we're just taking a minute, Esmond is going to use the mending cantrip on Typhon to heal it up a additional few points.
All right. Yeah, I believe that'll take you a minute, but you guys aren't moving yet. Peach, I sent you a message in.
Yep, I see it. Thank you. I'm just reading it through now. So, all right, I remember more of what that pink-haired creep sent us on. We weren't just instantaneously transported. We were on that path for ages. went on, and we kept seeing the same trees again, and the same boulders again, and the same marks again. And it seemed like we were traveling for hours, but then we were just traveling for minutes because we just been around here. And we finally got to fighting, and we all decided that we would leave the path. And once we did, we heard the sound of a village nearby, or town, something like, folks' voices and everything. And then we were suddenly in Lux, or I don't know, the way I pictured Lux to be, the way Salinger described it.
It seemed weird to me.
I don't know, fancy cities and fancy shops. But yeah, we stepped off the path, but the path wasn't leading us anywhere.
I mean, it's that cord guy. He ripped us off. So we gotta find him.
I mean, he's probably eaten the cookies by now.
How do we expect to find somebody that led us down a path that didn't lead to anywhere that we went off of and then ran in a either east or westerly direction? I'm not entirely sure. Into the woods.
I where we are at, let alone if we could find the path again, because it's not like that was helpful.
I mean, we're just slightly west of where we fought those plant creatures. All we have to do is loop back around. Big guy makes so much noise, he'll be easy to give the slip to.
Guys, I think we're more than just lost. I think that we're deep in the Fae. We're wherever we are. There's no way that we're going to be able to find anything that we're looking for. Not in the traditional sense, at least.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Esme. I feel like we don't even know where we are to know how lost we are. Like, we
Hold
don't even
on.
have a reference. We don't even.
We do have something. Maybe not everything he said was false. He said we all had to focus on the place we wanted to go together.
Yeah, and then
Maybe that's part
what?
of getting
We
out of here.
apparently, because we started fighting, right? We just went on and on forever, just on, and just kept repeating the same shit. And then we stepped off the path. The only thing we could agree to do was fight. And then we stepped off.
When we were on this path, was this the path that he was leading us on? Or when
It was
we
the
went
one
off
we
on that one?
chose. The one that we all picked together.
What do you mean by we stepped off?
I'm saying, well, I remember that the path went on, and it seemed like we were going in circles, or at least the road was repeating, and we all had an argument, and we all decided together, individually, just to leave the path. This path was leading us nowhere, so we'd be better off trying our luck.
Do we all remember that, Chris?
No, just Peach.
Yeah, Ishtalan is like looking around at everyone else to see if anybody else remembers this.
Look, I remember, okay? I remember better than any of you. I was the only one who remembered Salinger. All right, my memory's good.
I mean, the Salinger thing was true, and I believe that you do remember that, but none of us remember that happening.
Well, what do you remember then?
I don't know. What do I remember, Chris?
You remember making the deal with Korrid? You guys headed on the path, and then you were in Lux?
I just remember traveling the path, and then suddenly we found ourselves at the city, like magic had transported us.
It wasn't that, though. It wasn't like a magic portal or nothing. We were on that road for ages.
So maybe then we were drawn off the path. We were tricked by whatever that illusion was. Those vines were. It drew us away. So maybe we should try and make our way back to the path and continue on. We don't have any other options, really.
We could try the other fork.
I don't Yeah, I don't think finding the path is necessarily a bad idea, but I'm just saying we weren't drawn off the path by nothing. We stepped away. We gave up on the route.
Maybe all of you roll a perception check.
All of us.
Everybody.
Does this count as wilderness?
Yes.
Would I get advantage for eyeing the plants suspiciously the entire time since you've been here?
This, for people, I think everyone has exhaustion, so this would be disadvantaged.
Yeah, this is a skill check.
So can we just roll a second time?
Yeah, you can roll a second time and take the lower of the two.
Casey found a puddle of water and is just observing himself.
Way worse off.
It's such a high number, even though it's a nat 1.
Must
sees
percept at the
these.
time.
He sees more than you think.
Interesting. Okay. I see. Okay. Ishtalan, it's as Peach is talking that you realize you haven't heard the beast in a few minutes. Or a few seconds, maybe.
I think realizing that Echelon mutters to herself, it just sounds like a swear word in like a harsh, rumbling sort of language, and then throws. She takes the hand that's been sitting placed in her pouch, and she throws the ashes from there, casts it around, and whispers a word, sibilant, that drifts through the clearing and encompasses all of the people that she can see, and casts past without a trace, and says, "I don't like the creature isn't moving anymore."
Dust spreads it around all of you. You gain, is it plus 10 to stealth rolls? It's just after Ishtalan does that, you hear some movement in the brush nearby. Samsel kind of ducks down into a bush. Everybody rolls stealth.
Disadvantaged.
I have advantage to stealth, so
Plus 10.
thank God for the plus 10.
Disadvantage is plus 10. Oh, thank God, thank God. Ixalan, you're saving lives.
No,
Sorry, I got this.
Salinger!
Sal's really into local flora.
Too suspicious to be sneaky.
Whereas
You gonna let it stand?
Reroll a disadvantaged stealth check when I have a plus 2, plus 10. Like, I'm
But
okay.
a natural one.
For one.
As you emerge from the brush, you could have sworn you heard the sound of your friends' voices, but no one's there. But then you see Salinger. He's trying to hide, but the tree he's trying to hide behind is way too small. He's just standing behind it.
It's not a good
I'm
tree
being
for
sneaky.
you. No, you're not.
There's no way you can see me right now.
I know how to fix that, though. Like, how does being invisible sound to you?
So, Ray, you found your friends as Thane emerges from the brush behind Araya with the shield of Brunhilde in his hand, kind of spinning around, watching the back. The two of them join your group.
We were hiding from them?
She's on the side of the level and stands up and says, "So," or steps out from the bush that she was hiding in, and says, "I think that only leaves Muna and Bobby. Although if anyone else was here, I think I would trust her to look after herself the most. But still, no matter what we decide, we should at least try and find her."
soon as you finish that statement, Sal's going to try a low whistle, normal sound that calls her. Not full volume. Like, he'll be slightly stealth with it, but in case she's near enough by, she might at least hear it.
Oh, okay. Roll animal handling.
I'm trying to think of like a half volume whistle.
I think the sound cutting is just going to eliminate any attempts at whistling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, from the Pass Without Trace?
No,
Discord.
from microphones.
Oh, yeah. That's
Ooh,
hey, look at that.
quite good. Yeah, it's just a moment after Salinger lets out that low whistle that you see some of the trees to the southeast, because a few of them shake. Some leaves fall. Then another set of trees closer to you slowly bends and rustles. No sounds of impact. Ishtan, you catch a glimpse of teal and pink. Flash here, flash there among the leaves. But high up, almost in the canopy. And another the trees bend as though under a great weight.
Ishalon waves at everyone else to get down and hisses at them, looking up into the canopy and pointing toward it as she dives back into the bushes again.
We have everybody roll a new stealth roll. And just a reminder, you are all exhausted, so you do have the disadvantage.
Manage stealth.
Plus 10.
Does that mean I have double disadvantage?
No, because you're.
Oh no.
You might. Yeah.
Because I'm wearing the armor that makes me noisy.
Oh, you're so clunky, Kabev!
Gonna have to eat your way out of this.
He still has Pass Without Trace.
So that adds 10 to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except
So
for
the lowest
Array and
that's
Fane.
20.
Right, who got the lowest?
Not high, says the cat.
I think it might be Fane.
15 lowest?
Not if he's got Pass Without Trace on him, too, though.
He does not.
Oh yeah, Rhea and Fane do not.
Okay.
Alright. So you all find places to hide among brush and fallen logs, behind copses of trees, which you see emerge above you, moving with eerie quiet through the treetops, is a crustacean covered in teal, pink blooms of flowers. Beautiful. Its carapace almost as though it's made of smooth stone. The trees bend beneath its weight, branches do snap and whine, but the impacting sounds that you heard before are gone. It's a crab, probably 40, 50 feet across. One enormous claw, the other one smaller. It climbs with incredible ease through the treetops, moving from tree to tree, searching for something, searching for you. With your stealth rolls, even with Fane's 15, doesn't seem to find anyone. You see eye stalks emerge, swivel around, and then the treetops it seems to move on. Catch a couple of glimpses of smaller crabs, maybe about the size of Salinger, hopping from tree to tree, following it. Then after a minute, 2 minutes, it seems as though they've passed on.
I think we should move on out of here as quickly and quietly as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the way it came.
Yeah, maybe.
The underside looked kind of soft.
I will use every bit of my abilities to keep you in place. Don't even think about trying to go after that thing.
I mean, it didn't really seem... It was kind of slow.
Oh? No.
Peach, do you remember us getting to the clearing? Which way we came out of it or into it?
DM, do I?
Specifics of direction? No, not really. It's all kind of flashes.
No, not really. It was kept saying east, but we were moving west, I swear. And it was... I have no idea. I couldn't get us back to the road. And we've been running so far by this time, and I can't tell. There's no way to tell where we are or if we're anywhere near where we started. I'm sorry.
Then I guess the only way is to try and find a higher spot, or at least some places not quite so under attack, and then see if we can find the lay of the land somewhere.
DM, how far up is the canopy of the forest that we're in? Like, how far above us is the top? What could I estimate?
The trees here are quite tall, so you're looking at between 30 and 50 feet.
Esmond will speak up. I can try and send Zephyrus above the tree line, see if he can find any kind of clearing, kind of give us a direction to go in at least.
Hopefully I included Zephyrus in the Fast Without Trace and the robot.
It sure would be swell if you included Zephyrus in the Fast Without Trace, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. Is there a limit to the number of creatures you can include?
Just,
yeah, then
it's
Zephyrus
just
is in
within
it.
30 feet.
Yeah, Zephyrus. We can say Zephyrus is in it.
Then yeah, I'll send Zephyrus quietly up through the treetop, try and get as good a view as he can of the clearing, see if there's like an empty space or like a clearing somewhere in the surrounding area for us to go, like, give us a direction to head in.
Yeah. Roll a stealth roll for Zephyrus.
That'll be 1929.
Yeah, Zephyrus flies upward among the thick trees and through the blues and greens of the foliage. Gets up above the trees. He's outside of the range in which you could see through his eyes. But when he comes back down, you get the sense that he wants to go to the south.
All right, south seems to be the direction he felt. South is what he says.
Do you have some of that tracking magic? Because we could track the cookies. That should lead us to Cord.
Who cares about Cord? That creep sent us on the wrong path to absolutely nowhere. If we find him, great, and if we never see him again, great.
Yeah, he sent us on the wrong path. It means he knew it was the wrong path. Also means he knows the right path.
Well, he went the right direction, so maybe. But is it? I will rise above and not say I told you so.
If you say that you're not going to, that means you basically did it. So you
I
failed.
couldn't help myself. Maiden, forgive me.
We will give you all free reign as soon as we can get out of here to just go ham on us. But for now, let's all focus. Yeah, let's start heading south.
Echelon's gonna start heading that way and says over her shoulder, worst comes to worst, then maybe if we go back to the clearing, I can see if there's any tracks there, but I don't know if going back there is the best idea anyway.
Well, I guess
She's
the
gonna keep
question
it
really
herself.
is, do we pretend that this is the ground just overlaid over our own, or are we stuck inside one of those permeable sponge-like crossovers of this place and the? Do you know? Can you tell, Ez? Can you tell?
I can't tell necessarily, but not knowing as much as I would like, I'm fairly positive that we are in the Feywild just fully. So we're just
Like not even a Feywild, kind of sitting on top of the other, like oil on water.
There is no, just for clarity, there's no snow here. It's like temperate. It's like temperate autumn.
Well, oh,
As she moves, she starts to undo like the buttons of her long coat, which I think I'm not sure a lot of people have actually seen that yet, because I'm not sure she's taking a bath around other people. You actually see there's a shirt underneath. Amazing.
scandalous.
is it the mithril one? Are you sparkly?
That would be really funny.
Mithril.
Sure, yeah. She has that really scandalous sort of mithril dwarf chain dress thing.
Oh no.
The one that she gave us in all different colors.
Yeah.
None of us have ever had the guts to wear.
You don't know if Beth's wearing hers underneath her armor.
It all jingles the same.
So
Casey speaks a
Araya
word.
and Kebeth are wearing theirs.
Casey speaks a word in Ignan while looking at Ishtalan, and a low rumble flows out from him through the ground and up to several people as he connects mind link with them.
Are you including in your mind?
I can do 5. Salinger, stay close, yeah. So I'll have Araya as Ishlan, Peach, and Kebeth.
In your mind, you hear, "Ooh, you picked me!"
If one more person asks me to stay close, I'm going to run out of options to be able to actually do that physically.
Well,
Peach
if we
takes
all
one
surround
anyway.
you, maybe you'll hide better. Like in a crowd.
It's just that you're the least likely to run off.
Want to run off in your mind.
Fair.
Don't worry, I won't leave you out, Sal. Anybody says anything really funny, I'll tell you.
You can leave out the offensive bits.
I'll filter it for your delicate verbal ears. I know you don't like anything too blue.
That was a good one.
He gets inspiration.
So as you guys move to begin to travel south, how are you traveling? Is someone in the lead? Are you all moving as a big group?
Their feet.
I think we just established Sal's in the middle.
Casey would probably be up front.
Okay. Is anyone scouting ahead of the party, or are you all staying together?
Always a
Beth's not a quiet scout.
Okay. As you guys begin to move south with Ishtalan moving ahead of everyone, Ishtalan, roll stealth and roll perception, please.
So 30 stealth and 23 perception.
Oh, it's
That's very funny.
Yeah. Okay. As you were scanning forward, there is a snap of a twig, and sort of coming around a cluster of trees, you and that stranger, uh, red-haired and bearded, almost they don't run into each other, but you come upon each other at the same time. And he's crouched low with a bow in his hand, an arrow knocked and half drawn. His eyes are wild and glassy. He stares at you. He's not pointing the arrow at you, but he's got the weapon ready.
I think probably Ishan had actually done a similar thing with her bow while she was scouting ahead. So they're just like doing the Spider-Man thing with each other, both half-knocked arrows staring at each other. And Ishan does reflexively swing the bow around when she sees a figure there, but she doesn't actually go all the way to pulling or to drawing it all the way, as it takes her a moment to. She recognizes him from the tree.
Yes.
I think she gets halfway to drawing on him before she relaxes a moment and recognizes him and relaxes and says, "You got away."
When you relax your weapon, he does not relax his, and in fact, he raises it and aims it at you, and says, "You real?
Are you?
Show me your fingers. Show me your teeth."
Shalon gives him a weird look, but bares her fangs, and then she doesn't raise her hands, but she because she's still holding the bow, but she basically is swivels to the side slightly to show it while she's holding.
He hesitates, but slowly seems to relax, and lowers the weapon. "You're in grave danger here."
Tell me something I don't know. No, I mean really, tell me something I do not know. Do you have any news? What do you know about this place?
Yeah.
And then she sends over the mind link to Casey. Found that stranger that was sharing a tree with you.
Did you shoot him?
No, not yet.
Good. Maybe you know something you don't know. We'll head your way.
He says, he seems to relax kind of from his focus on you, and he glances around the forest. He says, "These lowlands are hunted. That pinching beast and its kin. We have to get out of here. Now."
Again, something we are already doing. we're heading south.
No, not that way.
Why?
There isn't a south here. Where are you going?
She points in the direction that she was going, which she thinks is south. There was a moment where she was like, wait, how did... She thinks to herself of how did the hummingbird or her husband know which way is south?
Yeah, he says, there were others with you. I gathered them.
They're behind me. They're coming along. And then she says to Esmond, but through Casey, presumably. So how did you know which way was south?
It was just the impression. That was like the direction that Zephyrus was communicating to you.
Oh, okay. They should be along in the moment. She says out loud to the redhead.
Before too long, the others here are catching up. Yeah, what you see is a man with a very kind of wiry build. You can tell that at some point he was wearing like studded leather armor, but a lot of it's fallen apart and been repaired with like pieces of bark, things like that. His hair and beard are very unkempt. There's an animalistic kind of wild gleam in his eyes. He has what seems to be a long bow with like bits of fluff and feather to kind of quiet the string. You can see that there is like a slightly luminous kind of blue like veins that run up just his left arm and seem concentrated most around his wrist. And he looks at all of you and says, I know a place that's safe for time.
She sort of like gives a squinty look.
Is it possible for Ishalon to judge whether this guy is being sincere about his offer?
But you don't know him, so there's not really necessarily a way. But what I can tell you is, you can roll an insight, and I can give you some insights into, like, the state.
Over the mind link to Casey, she's like, he did help in the battle against the plants, and he didn't have to. He could have just run.
But he also ended up in the plants. So
Well,
his
so
safe
did we.
spot.
Could I make an insight check? I am curious. I know that he's on edge, but I want... Is it possible to determine if he is relieved to see other people?
Roll insight, and I'll give you some...
9.
Yeah, hard to tell. It's obvious that he's a little, he's alarmed. That's easy for any of you to tell, I think.
Esmond will kind of approach, not his arms not fully up, but definitely like his hands out. Hello, stranger. My name is Esmond. If you know a safe place where we could all rest, take respite for some time, that'd be great. Could I ask what your name is?
He's staring at you with an intensity that's something between suspicion and hope, if you had to guess. When you ask his name, he starts to open his mouth as if he's going to talk, and then he hesitates. Doesn't matter. Then as he kind of, as though having a new thought, he glances at each of your faces and he says, are you all known to each other? Do you know that you are you?
Absolutely. Yes, without question.
That is such a wild question to ask me.
I am Legion.
Existential crisis in the Feywild, what?
I love the direction this is going.
Yes, I know that I'm me. I think we can all say the same for ourselves.
Well, I can vouch that that's who they are. Yeah.
How did you end up in the plant?
Searching. And this way has a place has a way of seeming what it is not. I know a place may be safe, at least for a while. Come
All
with
right,
me.
but who all are you to, you were very helpful against the common enemy of the plants, but, I could whip up a shelter lickety split. Who are you that we should go with you?
Follow me or stay here and die. I don't care. He starts moving off to what seems like the west.
Well, that's a fair point.
Pretty compelling argument.
You think he knows Cord?
I really think we gotta forget Cord and just worry about trying to get out of here. I'd say we follow him in the meantime.
8 cookies, Esmond. 8.
Echelon's already going.
Esmond will follow behind.
Kabeth whispers behind them. I mean, cookies are important, but they're just cookies.
Samsel says, "How do we know this person knows what they're doing?" And Fane says, "Hey, how do we know we can trust them?"
Well, at least this one wasn't found next to a dead body, so.
I mean, if anything, they've been here longer than us, so.
But what does that mean? That just means that they've been trapped for longer, that they didn't figure a way out yet. That's not boding well for us.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean they could be from here. We're not from here, but they could be from here, so they could always have been here. Right? Wrong. No.
He read to me as trapped Araya. That man seemed like a castaway. Like we were the first real thinking, speaking people he'd talked to in a real long time.
Okay, I'm gonna start drawing a map.
Ishtalan is.
Oh yeah, don't lose.
Casey's.
She's hard to keep track of. Follow her quickly. She pats Casey on the back. Go, 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 go.
Yeah, and so this stranger begins to move through the forest, heading at first at what seems west. Now and then, he'll pause, change direction, as though he's trying to remember somewhere he's been before. Leads you on. It seems like it's going on hours. Moving very carefully, quietly. If any of you make too much noise, it glances back at you with a scathing glare.
Kabeth looks very embarrassed.
I just imagine Kabeth just apologizing the entire time.
There comes a point when he seems to stop. Looks around. He seems to be hesitating.
I think Peach is the first to... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Do it.
I think Peach is the first to speak, as she could stand the silence the least. What's wrong? Oh, are we lost? Or are you lost? Do you know where we are? If there's something like hanky going on, you can tell us. We all got, you saw us in that fight against them vines and all. If there's something that you sense around here, And we should get ready. You can tell us.
It's not easy. I know the way. I know the way.
Is it getting colder or warmer in the mine lake?
Is the temperature, Chris, is the temperature changing to Casey?
No, not really. It's the same sort of autumn.
When's the last time we saw snow?
Casey turns to Araya and kind of straightens his gloves a little. And she hears in the mind like, I think we're wasting our time with this guy.
Okay, so I have a sense that if we could find snow, that we might be okay.
Sneakily, Esmond is going to send Zephyrus through the clearing of through the treetop again to see if he can find anything.
Okay, yeah. Zephyrus goes flying upward. Roll stealth for Zephyr.
So pass without trace is no longer a thing if it's been hours. If it's actually been hours.
Oops, 17. Isn't too bad. Yeah, Zephyrus moves up through the trees, and there's all variety of insects and strange things moving his way up. As he's on his way up, there's a vine that snaps out at him, but he manages to get out of the way. Pretty soon, Zephyrus is up above the canopy, and it's just within range where you could see through his eyes if you wanted.
Yeah, Esmond would have cut into his eyes, letting him go up until he passes the range of its effectiveness.
Yeah. So you see a varied canopy top all around, stretch of forest in vibrant colors and what seem to be a dimming twilight. There are stars, unfamiliar stars, in the sky above you. You see two round moons in the sky. You, in fact, make out in the far distance, barely visible, the tower. That must be north, right? Wait, no. You were sure you're moving west.
Esmond would have described everything stopping at mentioning the White Tower before coming back and instructing Zephyrus to come back down, approaching the stranger. Sir, what is it that you're looking for? Maybe we can help you locate it.
Starts murmuring something under his breath, and you can see he's got something in his hand.
Can I make out what it is?
Do you move closer?
If he's not immediately responsive, I move a bit closer. Yeah.
As you move closer, you can see he's got a piece of torn fabric in his hand, and he's sort of rubbing it with his thumb. You can see it's cloth of some kind. It's the only actual bit of, well, it's a color that's different from the others. You can see on one side of the cloth it's gray, but the other side it's orange. Just a shred, as though torn from something it used to be. And you hear him whispering under his breath. Zira, Toshka, Nissa, Albrecht. Albrecht. My name is Albrecht.
Albert?
Spins around.
Take a step away, hands partially up, trying to come off as inoffensive as possible. Sorry, I heard you mumbling to yourself. Your name is Albert, correct? You mumbled it. You were talking to yourself.
You suddenly, he's got a hand on his knife. He stares at you intently.
I don't budge. I mean, no offense. We're trying. You offered respite to us. I'm offering to help you find where that respite is.
Do not take my words.
I will not take your words.
Seems to calm down. No, this way. It's this way. And he turns and starts kind of heading down the slope of a hill.
As he walks away, Esmond takes a step back and holds his hand to his chest and just breathes a little heavily for a moment.
I think during that exchange, Casey swung around to just over one of Albert's shoulders. And when he leaves, he looks at Esmond and gives him a wink.
Shalon discreetly resheaths her dagger.
Should we be following another person deeper into the Feywild?
We have no direction. We have no idea what to look for. If he means us harm or to trick us, then we defeat him by whatever means we have available to us. But if there's a chance that he does offer us either respite or help, I feel like we have to kind of take that chance right now.
What if he's more lost than we are, and we could retrace our steps still, right? And go back to where the two spots met.
The Fae, this place changes over time. I think the studies of this realm are all over the place, to say the least. And it was never my area of interest, but what I do know is that even the greatest navigators have never been able to successfully map out any of this area, as it always seems to change or affect the minds of those that visit it. So I don't know if we would be able to find our way back to the path that we had initially left.
She holds up the drawing of where they've been coming from with so this is not helpful. Anti-helpful.
Keep drawing it. Keep doing that. It's better than not doing anything, but there is a chance that it may be ineffective.
If we can't walk our way out of here, then we need a portal.
We'll have to find one then. I can't open those. But we can...
There's... Iselin draws back a little bit. She's been pretty close on Albrecht's heels, but hearing her friends talk, she drops back a little bit and says, there is the portal that always lingered between the Feywild and the place between, the lands between. I do not know where it is. I would have recognized it if I saw it, I think. But I think stumbling across it might either require sheer luck or talking with someone who knows something more about the layout of the lands here.
Well, what was it around?
I saw it from the other side.
We just do what we can for now. That means drawing maps, following potential leads, and defending ourselves as best as we can. We'll either find our way out of here through the means that Korat had actually described, or we find a portal and I can tear a way into the place between and at least get us somewhere that we have a better chance of navigating.
So we got a plan then. See where this guy.
Sure, plan. Very loose term, but yeah.
Let's see where he's taking us then.
He's as a madman. How can we be following him? He's going to lead us into nothing.
Well, he's alive, but I don't know about the arm. She's gonna kind of jog to catch up with at least Shalon, and so she's close to the guy, kind of just like try to spy his his arm. It's glowing blue. It might be relevant, but she's gonna with a medical sense. Check that out.
He's not really holding still enough to get like a close look, but you do see that it looks as though there is maybe a magical corruption of some kind that is working its way up his arm. It's sort of the color is like it's like a iridescent, like multi-hued kind of blue. It seems to focus from like the hand and wrist, work its way up the arm, and it's even beginning to work its way through the shoulder.
She kind of like really, really quiet at first, so that she sort of like pipes up. I like to heal. I can heal. Maybe I can help your arm. Maybe if it's bothering you, that is.
Pauses. You're a healer.
Yeah.
He kind of looks down at the hand, looks at you.
It's worth a try. It can only help, really. Unless this is, I've misunderstood the blue. It's a pretty blue, though.
He kind of looks down at it again and squints. Scarabs.
Bless you.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Is that a yes or a no?
Is it the magical word, maybe?
Time for mending. We shouldn't linger here. This place isn't safe. The Lord of Fing and Claw is dead. And it said the Fanged King haunts these lands again.
All right, that's all well and good, but could you maybe give us a timeline? I've been following you for a while now, and
How long
maybe
has
if
it
you could just
been?
let us know how much.
It feels like
It
hours.
seems like several hours, at least enough time for Pass Without Trace to wear off.
We should keep moving. Keep talking.
Can you tell us how much longer we might be doing that, though? Because as far as we know, there ain't no destination.
It wouldn't matter if I told you.
Oh,
Is
is this an intention thing? Maybe we're very intent on finding the safe place and click our heels. No, that's his shoes.
DM, sorry, can you clarify? I can't recall if you said before. Is this a human?
Yeah, human, as far as you can tell.
How rare. Okay.
Over maybe the next hour or so, he's leading you in a downward slope, and you see that the landscape is changing slowly into dingier colors, less saturated. there begins to form sogginess in the ground beneath your feet, as though it had been raining a lot the last few days. And there's a sweet smell, but also an earthen smell you begin to pick up.
Is it like anything that we smelled before?
Can we roll perception or something?
I don't think any of you necessarily have experience of what it would mean, except that it's sweet but distinct from what you smelled with the plants themselves. That was like very saccharine, and this is much more muted.
As they move into the soggier ground, Casey is periodically waving his hand at his feet, and the mud kind of moves away a bit, but it's not effective. He's stepping in this soggy ground. He's not too happy about it.
Never coming back to the Feywild again.
With the slight change in environment, Esmond will send Zephyrus through the treetops again to look for any signs of any points of interest.
Roll another stealth roll for Zephyrus.
Does it feel colder? It's wetter. Casey, is it colder?
No, he's taking us the wrong way.
I don't miss the snow, but I miss what the snow means.
As Zephyrus makes it up above the tree line, you're maybe looking through his eyes at that point. You can see that the landscape has changed. There were mountains in that direction. Did this guy turn us around and head the other direction? The towers, the white tower. It's still there. There's a quick flap of wings. Roll a dexterity saving throw for Zephyrus. Zephyrus barely twists out of the way. As some winged thing with claws flashes up from the canopy and then dives down beneath it again, moving through the brush. Or moving through the treetops.
Yeah, I bring Zephyrus back down, and I basically just fold him into my cloak.
Samsa says, what happened? What'd you see?
This place doesn't make any sense, but there are a handful of stable points of interest that don't seem to change at all, actually. So it's difficult to say what direction we've been moving in this whole time.
Maybe we can use those to find our way ourselves. She kind of pauses, reaches to a tree and reaches out and plucks a little flower off of it. Sticks it in her bag.
Maybe. I'm hoping that Albert can actually lead us somewhere safe for a time, and if he is genuine, maybe we can actually learn something about this place from someone that is clearly much more experienced in it than we are.
Samsa, did you make sure that flower isn't going to emit some kind of spore that's going to put us all to sleep or poison us horribly by touching it?
No, it was like a little blue.
Maybe make sure that it's not going to kill us all horribly before you keep it.
I'll put it all the way at the bottom of the bag.
I'm sure that will help.
As you're moving on, there's a moment where Albert pauses, freezes where he's standing. Roll perception check. Anyone wants to?
What?
Nice.
How the
Oh, I'm
fuck?
so
My
perceptive.
goodness.
I'm so perceptive, though.
But like double.
Hot damn.
I notice everything.
I think roll 20 still has not gotten rid of that thing, that tendency.
Interesting.
Oh, and Casey too rolled this. What?
Doubles?
It's a known thing for roll 20.
Oh. It's fun though when it happens, so I'm like, eh. Except when it happens to the monster, where you're just like,
Yeah, we'll give it to Peach. Peach, you barely pick up the slightest hint of a low singing, soft, feminine voice.
She's close to Salinger, so she kind of squeezes his hand first, and before she says in the mind link, she says, "Sal, I hear something. Like I hear someone, like a person, like singing." And then she'll say in the mind link the same thing. I hear something around here. There's someone else around.
Can Casey hear that?
Yeah, now that Peach points it out, yeah, you can hear it, just barely on the edge of your perception. Barely audible over the sound of your friend's breathing or the sound of their footsteps.
Do we have Legends of Sirens?
Yeah, probably.
I think particularly since Ishelin has spent a lot of time around very superstitious sailors.
ooh.
Her first instinct is going to be like, covering ears, it could be a siren.
What do you mean? We can barely hear it.
That's how they get you.
Somsel and Fane immediately cover their ears.
I'm gonna wrap my like veil closer around. Do you think it's enough? Is it enough? Wait, ooh, if I go invisible, I can't hear anything, and that's perfect.
Esmond is going to carefully approach Albert. Albert, do you that singing, is that friendly or no?
He doesn't respond.
Albert, hey, can you hear me?
He says, "This way. I think it's this way." He turns a bit to the right and starts moving slowly farther in the forest.
No.
Does it sound like it's in the direction of the singing?
Yes.
Does it sound louder from that direction?
Casey says to Ishelin, "Don't be ridiculous. Sirens are ocean creatures. We're nowhere near the ocean."
Are you sure about that?
Invisibly grabbing the nearest hand to me.
Sorry, I didn't hear your answer, because does it sound like he was moving in the direction of the singing?
Yeah, it looks like, he's going in that direction.
Ishelin looks at the others. She still kind of like has her hands up in her ears and is periodically unplugging them and putting them back in.
Peach has pulled an extra like overskirt over her head and tied it like an old-fashioned Hollywood starlet to cover the ears. She squeezes Salinger's hand and says, "The voice is something bad. Don't actually listen for it. It's leading us astray. It's got Elbrick under its spell."
Does it?
That's what Peach thinks.
Before, if he begins walking in the direction of the singing, Esmond, after Ishelin had mentioned something about sirens, Esmond's actually going to try and reach out and try and tug him back towards the group.
That's where the voice comes from.
You reach out and grab onto his arm and stop him. What are you doing?
Albert, I think you're walking in the wrong direction. You're walking towards that singing. I don't think you mean to.
No, I wasn't.
you were.
Was I?
She's going to take the bronze scarf that Salinger had given her. She was about to wrap it over her head, but then she proffers it to Albrecht and says, tie it around your ears, maybe it will help.
Takes it. Well, like, what kind of fabric is it? Like, what is it? Is it a scarf?
Yeah, I think it was silk, right? Or was it?
Yeah, something very lightweight.
Yeah, he takes it and he blinks a few times. Kind of lifts up the fabric and rubs it with his fingers. I remember this.
Salinger, did you get me a gift? Like just a mass-made scarf? How rude.
I think his ears are covered and he's not in the mind link. But he probably partly reads your lips and sees the look on your face.
To become dear to
That
the
is
fence,
one of a
even though he
kind.
does. Salinger would never buy off the rack for a gift for a friend. Absolutely not. Salinger, Ixalan is. She thinks that the scarves that you got us all were mass produced.
Is a little too loudly, like someone who's wearing headphones and isn't thinking about it. Outrageous.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, after a moment he says, yes. Soft things. The craft of men.
Well, not really men. There's probably some kind of half-elf or a dwarf, I think.
Yeah, a person of some kind. You know, possibly a female or non-binary person too.
Yeah, he raises it up. Thank you. And kind of wraps it around so it's covering his ears. Bet I'd go this way. He changes direction.
Ixalan punches us in the shoulder a little bit and like a good job, and then it continues to follow while she searches in her bag for something else to cover her wound ears.
I think that punch leaves a bruise on Esmond. Like a banana.
Flicks. Just...
Esmond's a banana. It takes nothing.
It's got dark blue around his wrist now.
Oh. Should eat more bananas.
After a while, Albrecht is leading you across soggy, more humid land. There's a point where you cross a log bridge in a place where the water gets just deep enough to where it's better to avoid it. And there are insects, some of them fluttering with strange light. You see a beautifully vibrant bird land upon a tree nearby, and the tree eats it.
As it happens.
With a mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
As the
It probably has more than one.
Esmond holds Zephyr's tighter to his chest.
And before too much longer, there's a fog that slowly become more and more dense, until after a moment you really can't see more than 10 feet around you. Albrecht says, stay close, hard to see you. I haven't traveled with others here.
I hear nothing, and I'm just holding the hand of Kabeth.
Islam will put a hand on Albrecht's shoulder and reaches out a hand behind her.
Yeah, I think
Peach will
we'll link hands, form a chain through the fog.
Festival rules.
We all line up.
Other hand on Casey then.
Before too
If
long.
she sees people doing it, she'll do it.
Everyone put a hand on Casey. I'll lead you through.
Before too long, you formed a chain of linked arms and hands moving through the dense fog. It's as you're continuing onward, you start to feel a cooler air kind of coming from your left.
What does this place, this safe place, look like that you're looking for?
It's much farther to be up a hill beyond the fog. It's calm there. Like a place made for living. It's a memory, not one of mine.
Is it cold?
No.
All right. There's something cold to the left of us then.
Better to ignore it.
No, I don't think it's better to ignore it. Last thing that you couldn't really tell what's going on. We could have gone into some kind of, ground siren situation. I think you should double check again.
No,
You know.
Was the cold to the left of us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not right.
I mean, we kind of fixed that situation by ignoring it, Peach.
That's true. That's true.
Albert continues forward.
But what I'm saying is that we should make sure he ain't charmed, right? Because he was hearing whatever that siren song was, and he was moving us forward, saying we got to go forward, and we were just trusting him. And it wasn't until I heard it too that we realized that he was charmed. So we should make him do some kind of perception check.
If you tell me in the mind link, sneak up on him.
What is the cold? Do you know?
Would have said this aloud for Salinger's sake, but also in the mind link.
Oh no! She can't hear. She's invisible. There's like an invisible link to your people chain.
Yeah, but if you're in the mind link, then you still heard what Peach was saying.
Yeah, I'll relay it to Rhea.
I mean, I could scare him. Wait, is that what you mean?
I don't know. I'm through Casey. I'm worried he's charmed again like he was before, and he's leading us somewhere dangerous. So I think that we need to make it so that he double checks himself. Because he fell for the sirens before we even noticed them. It's not that I don't trust Albert, it's that this place can do... he's been here for how long? And he was taken in, right?
Echelon says,
Yeah, Aureus.
What is the thing to the left?
Seems nothing that way.
Something cold.
The place we're going isn't cold. Keep moving.
Marks a note on her map of cold air.
Come on. Amber, you should just double check. Can you?
That isn't the way.
Mr. Murray, don't. And he's been this crazy the whole time, and we've trusted him the whole time, so he's...
Yeah, but last we trusted him and he was going to lead us to our deaths with the... He was enchanted by the voice. I know not all y'all heard it, but it was... Something had him.
Seems alright at the moment. Let's give him a little bit longer, huh?
I do not get the impression that dangers here will show up in the same way twice.
What do you think, Sal? Peach looks up at him. I mean, trust this guy just on and on?
He's the only one we have with any sort of experience whatsoever. Trust? I don't know. We'll learn something from him. Maybe we can use that to find our own way if he gets us lost. Because we're already lost.
Peach will stop protesting for the moment.
Albert continues to lead you on. He takes you until you don't feel the chill air from the left anymore. Continues on for some time more, and it seems to grow darker and darker the farther that he leads you. It's less the light of the twilight no longer making its way through the canopy at all. It's become quite dark then.
In a fun way, Ishalon seems to relax the darker it gets. It's like she takes a deep breath for what feels like the first time in a while.
Now and then there's the flutter of like a bioluminescent insect that gives you some context for the way the density of the tree is and how tall the grass is. It's still soggy beneath your feet. And after a time you start to feel the interruption of stones now and then, stepping on one, and the ground gets harder. And after a moment more you're walking on rock every now and then with plant growth sporadically growing up through it. Albert says,
Pathway?
we're close now. This is it. Here, just here. And he starts to guide you towards an incline that's ascending upward on uneven stones. And then after a moment more, you realize it's almost like steps. The stones are.
Casey gives a bit of a knowing look to everyone in the group.
For too long, as you ascend the stone steps, you realize you're making your way up sort of a switchback path on a hillside. And as you begin to rise up above the fog, you can see that dawn is just barely breaking on the horizon. You make your way up into what seems to be greener grass. And you can almost make out, at first, it's a fence, but then you realize, no, the young trees are just growing that way. He leads you up the steps and under what almost seems like an archway. You realize you see an orchard of tall trees. You see buildings. But no, those aren't buildings. It's just the way that the trees are growing. You see people. No, plants, but they just kind of resemble people. Not moving, just having grown there. You see, it's almost as though the texture and the shape and the blossoming of the flowers above the archway almost makes out a pear. like the fruit, pear. Albrecht leads you into what seems to be it's almost like a village. Or what's supposed to resemble a village. You smell the sweet scent of, is that cider?
Is there a sign?
You can almost make it out. It's just a coincidence the way the vines are growing, but I'm pretty sure it says, like an old sign long forgotten, welcome to Glen Hollow. And there's a warm light at the dawn that spreads across the village and the orchards. There's you can pick up the sound of birds and insects, and the humidity of the lowlands fades away. This is the place. It's not mine, but it's been kind enough.
Is it gonna take? Well, she she drops her invisibility. God. Well, if it had been more than. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah.
Safe enough for me to take a look at your arm?
If you please.
This place feels kind. It's very strange.
Something about the way everything's people shaped and village shaped, but isn't as deeply unsettling.
It's a tad disconcerting. Yeah.
I don't know.
Colors are a little brighter here. Not as
Everything's
faded.
little. It's cute, but everything's a little small. And she looks at the lintel of a door that's like here on her.
Albrecht, is there a place that we can get comfortable and rest here?
Can we build a fire? Or is it not allowed with all these trees?
This isn't like fire.
I can do something more temporary. Magic lack.
What do you mean?
Make a.
She slants a look over at Casey and says, "Did you hear that?"
I mean, that doesn't make sense though.
Gonna just like gently take up his hand while everybody else is like looking and just like really inspect.
Yeah. In which he seems to have an old scarred wound on the inside of his wrist, and from it there are veins of blue spreading up the arm to the shoulder. Iridescent, probably magical in nature.
If you are looking at his arm, Esmond would actually come to assist you in the observation of that.
Well, I have two things that I can try. It's not the best, but is it a bad thing? It looks like it was an injury. Is there something still there?
And she like kind of presses a finger to the scar on his wrist.
Yeah, the skin's firm like a scar, but he looks at it and says, "It was an accident. I think I didn't mean for it to happen, and it's changed me." Yeah.
For the better or for the worse, because I have a little experience with curses, and I don't seem to mind it so much now. But I did in the beginning.
It is a magic thing. I don't know.
It's just that when you did your own magic, it seemed to be of this color, and I would hate to change something that might... I'd want to help if I could, is all. And if my helping hurts you, that's the opposite of helping.
Whatever this is, it's somehow of this place. Yes, it's given me. He kind of withdraws his hand.
How long can we stay here for? You said that it's not safe for long, but can we rest at least?
I suspect so long as you are kind to this place, it will not rebuff you. If you wait long enough, they talk slowly, but you'll hear them. And this is Osmond.
What about...
This is Osmond here. This is Ephraim. I think that one's...
What about...
I think that one's Faye.
Wait,
She
the
says
trees?
in the mind, like, is he talking about the trees?
I'm gonna run my hands to the one of the trees that he had named.
Oh, Brick, what about using magic around here? Is it gonna cause something real bad to happen? If I were to conjure up a place with beds that are the right length for us all, would that be safe to do?
One thing that I can tell you about this place is if you do something it doesn't like, you'll know.
I'm not... Okay, we'll just stay here then.
She'll kind of side whisper to Ez. What if the trees are cursed? What if they're cursed? What if they're trapped in the trees? What if the trees was a person and what if... No, but the blue... I want to help if I can, but...
Let's just take it easy for now. We're all exhausted. Let's just take an opportunity to just catch our breath, and I'll give me 10 minutes, and I'll see if I can detect anything untoward.
Albrecht is starting to head towards one of the large buildings, but he pauses and says, "Wait, were any of you named Ringo?"
No?
No.
He kind of calls out, "No visitors. Ringo didn't come today."
Esmond will begin following, but stop and just we'll stop and look towards some of the trees shaped as people, kind of following Albrecht's example. Excuse our intrusion. Thank you for your hospitality, however.
Maria, as you're examining, I guess, one of the trees, yeah, it seems to be, well, they're all sort of about the same size as Somsel. First you might think they're children, and then you realize they're kind of a little wider shoulders. This one seems to be a cute lady. A little older.
Wait, sorry, I think I missed. What is she examining?
Like one
The
of the
tree!
there
But
are
they're shaped like people?
The people tree! The people tree!
Yeah, there are trees and plants that are growing in all manner of things. Some of the plant growth makes it look like there's a fence running around the village. Some of the trees are growing tangled in a way that looks like a... Is that a barn? No, it's more like a building of some kind.
Echelon's already moving away to find a place to shelter in. Probably a building that's reasonably sized for them. I think she actually picks one that's different from the one that Albrecht is going toward. And is starting to look for piles of leaves and things to make like a nice little outdoor camp, forest fort.
And you can see there's a big orchard. What seems to be pear trees. There's a greenhouse. You realize that larger building. It's a cidery.
Casey appears over Araya's shoulder. Why wouldn't they like fire, though?
Because they're
I mean-
trees.
Well, but it's necessary to keep plant growth healthy. Like, periodic fires keep... It
No.
renews the forest, and...
Well, but did you ask for their twigs to burn and then receive an answer? I don't know. What if the fire spreads too easy here because there's no rain here? Or what if...
I mean, do you ask the water if it wants to become holy water?
Water would be so blessed. No, you don't understand. Like, if the person that led us here has an understanding of this place and says that it doesn't like fire and that it'll let us know that it doesn't like something. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out if being a tree is something that they want to be or not to be, or if it's good or bad to be. And I want to undo if it's bad, but I don't know if it's bad at all. What if they were always trees and they just happen to be smart ones? I don't feel like I'm talking... I feel like this place makes me talk weird.
I mean... Yeah, you're talking weird.
Yes. But I want to help. Wait, maybe if I listen to the... Okay. I can meditate. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to...
You're gonna listen to the trees?
Yes, I'm going to listen to the trees.
You would.
I saw what you did there, Casey. No fires, though. I won't even do fires. I will try not to be... Well, nothing will make me, like, angry here, alright?
Well, I mean, these trees are nothing like the plants from before, so... At the very least, they seem more reasonable, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, and then be like a... Can I... Okay. Casey, you are distracting.
Well, the thing is, though, Albert mentioned kings, like some king fell, and then
What?
there's another king.
I didn't hear anything he said. I was invisible. Wait,
Yeah,
king?
Yeah, so apparently there's kings roaming around the Feywild. So if you need to talk to anyone, the trees, anyone else you meet, maybe just let them know that you're royalty. That way you can have a little more clout.
Right, Casey, no, you don't understand. Like, I can't, I don't know if I could lie slowly. It's hard to lie in real...
It's not... I mean, if it's easier, and you don't want to lie, you could just tell them you're God.
It's not true.
That would work as well.
True. No, I'm trying to embody my goddess, but I am not my goddess. Embody her. Bring her presence closer to this mortal plane. Yeah? Yeah. So talking to trees is a goddessy thing, right? Yes. Okay. Very slowly and very close to where the ear of the tree would be, the ear of the person of the tree of the tree. I'm a healer, and I can't tell if I can help you or not. If you want me to try to help, just tell me, show me yes. And then she's going to meditate in front of the tree, eyes. Psh.
Casey is grinning over her shoulder, topless, magma lines, fully bright, just over her shoulder, watching what happens.
Yeah, the tree that you're talking to does seem to resemble a, like adorable, slightly older lady. It looks as though you realize the way that the wind is moving through some of the flowers and leaves almost makes it look like her skirt's blowing. And she's waving, it seems to be like a fatherly aged guys. coming up the hill. Must be coming home from work.
I wait.
As the wind blows, you realize that, well, yeah, she's answering, but it's so slow. You might have to wait a few years to get the whole thing.
Did it work?
You see, the maiden did not imbue me with patience. Oh. He's still answering something from a very long time ago.
But wait, it's saying something to you?
Not to me, to him.
Oh.
How sad. Or beautiful, or something that I'm out of sync.
Says, you can eat your fill of pears from the orchard, just don't take any with you.
Ooh, pears. Oh, don't take any. Okay. Alright.
Two per person.
A pair? You mean a pair of pears?
Yeah. Just a couple.
Well, I want a pickle pear. A patch of pickle pepper. No, that was peppers. Darn it!
You can make it work. Kabeth
You can have
has,
a peck of pickled pears.
Kabeth has gone up to one of the tree ladies, and she kind of is like looking around at it, and then figures out where its face might be, and she waves gently, and she's, I hope you don't mind if I sit by you and take a nap. And she kind of like pauses to see if maybe the tree will respond, and realizes that it might take too long, and she's just kind of looks around, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. You let me know if it's not okay. And she settles herself down at like the base, like by the feet of the tree, and she puts a pillow out, and she says, your branches are very lovely. And then she lays her head down to take a nap.
The tree doesn't seem to mind at all. And it seems like that spot you picked, the bit of sunlight's particularly warm and nice.
I think Peach would be interested in checking out one of the plant-based buildings, but she wouldn't go alone. She takes Sal by the hand and she's like, do you want to go exploring with me for a minute? To see what's all inside of a place.
He hesitates for a second, looks at Albrecht. Is there any sort of, just like an introductory guide to the code of etiquette here? You said fire. Anything else to avoid?
Yeah. It'd be nice if there was. Just be careful.
Well, you've been here multiple times.
Yeah. I have. Quite a long time, I think.
And you haven't upset them. He looks around.
Did in the beginning. Not anymore.
All right, well, that was unhelpful. Yeah, let's just go check things out.
Sounds good, yeah. I'm interested to see what sort of building the tree makes, right? Trees wouldn't necessarily be inside of buildings. They would have seen people plenty, but what would a plant know about the inside of a place?
Yeah. As you begin to explore around, well, there's a variety of buildings. First, find what seems to be a person's home. And strangely, all the little tiny winding of vines and small growths. It's as though you're peeking into someone's home just as they might have left it. What does the tree know about all these intricate details? The way that those leaves are wound together, that almost looks like a blanket folded on a chair. Doesn't make any sense. There it is.
And that's something else. It's kind of beautiful.
We've seen several strange things, and that may be one of the strangest, but absolutely the least gross.
It's honestly nice to find someplace. It feels a little bit like home after all of this nonsense so far. You know, this may not be our home, but it has that right energy. It feels like this is someone's home.
Scale's all wrong.
Yeah, of course the scale's all wrong for you, Salinger. You're twice the size. This is built for like Samsel-sized people. All right, even I'm bumping my head through lentils.
Well, I'm not going in there. I want to bump my head on a rooftop and
No,
make an entire
I
town
know.
very slowly enraged with me. Keeps kind of looking over his shoulder.
You become a figure of legend again. They tell stories for centuries about the giant that came and broke through one of their houses.
I really think Kabeth is the wisest of all of us in this moment. She looks over to her, like, gently snoring.
Yeah, I don't want to explore if it feels like someone's home. You know, I don't want to intrude and go and find a place to rest outside.
Maybe that big one over there. And he points at the thing that looks cidery shaped.
Yeah, let's go look at that.
Yeah. On the way there, you pass by what seems to be it's a tangle of vines and a trunk, but it almost looks like two young men sitting on either side of a low table playing some kind of board game. They look deep in thought. It doesn't seem like any either of them will make a move anytime soon. But before too long, you reach the cidery. It's a much larger and open space on the inside, and of course, there's nothing in here that's actually been built by people. But something about the how thick and bulbous that part of the trunk is. It almost looks like a barrel, and there's a bit there where one of the small ones there's a dripping of sap that's falling down from. Almost looks like a spigot.
This cidery ain't making cider out of itself. It can't be really working, right, Sal?
Only one way to know. Pulls out a small wooden cup from his back. Lets a few drops fall into it. Gives it a spin and a sniff. Starts to tip it up and then looks at Peach and smiles. Like, that'd probably be real stupid, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Salinger, I was about to say last time when we tried the, I don't know if you remember, okay, but when we were in that face shop and that like a shopkeeper had that like really gorgeous dress and you weren't particularly there,
He
but there was
drinks
a
it
whole statue
mid-sentence.
of you. No, don't drink something from the Feywild. You're gonna get trapped here.
We're already trapped here. Might as well enjoy it.
Well, then you need to pour me one. It isn't fair to drink alone.
Passes you a cup.
Try some of the Feywild.
Is it neon green?
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Well,
Making
this
this
does
home
feel
though.
safer than being in a tangle of spiky dreaming vines or being underneath an infested canopy of flowery, enormous crabs.
I
So
suppose
Albrecht didn't steer us completely.
in terms of the plant-based obstacles we've recently faced, this is the least terrifying and most hospitable. I mean, I'm not, I'm hardly surprised by it now, but I am grateful that it seems as safe as Albert said it was.
I think it's getting us any closer to getting back home.
No, but we also need to take a moment. If we'd stayed lost in that stupid fantasy of Lux, if we hadn't shaken ourselves out of it every now and then, one or two of us, you know, we would have just died there. We had some petty argument as a group, and then we would have been killed without even realizing it, right? Just
Out of character, does Sal have any memory of imagined Lux?
Yeah, I think so. Probably something big.
I mean, I had never been to Lux, but it seemed real enough, and I don't know. Now I look back and it feels stupid, right? Because there was a statue of you, and it looked like you, not like the Alangi version of you. And then the shop was called Morel's, and they said it'd been in the family name, etc., etc. I figured that I don't know that if anything, then maybe some version of you had set something up for us, or oh, it's absolutely foolish. I trusted the place more because it had your name on it, but it was just a trick.
Yeah. When we were leaving that place where y'all found me again, you noticed statues that looked like me at all?
No, I searched around pretty good. And checked out all the local lore, and there wasn't anybody who people talked about Alangi, right? And he certainly seemed to fit the description. But the closest thing were the statues at the front of town, right? That looked just like your folks, just like Emov and Shirley. I mean, who else could have done that so accurate, right?
There were statues of all of you. I can't say I entirely trust it.
What do you mean you don't trust it?
I don't like the idea that there could be any other me. I know that with Ez's experience, I don't feel comfortable talking to him about it at all, frankly. That's probably upsetting to a degree I can't fathom, but it ain't right that I could make such a significant change in some way, and I feel like I have absolutely no part of it. I have no memory of it. I just was there, then gone, blink.
Oh, is that
And there's some town with all of you.
a salad?
Now I don't know about all that.
That's salad. Look, Alangi ain't you, right? Even if there was some version of some Salinger who got shot back in time and wrote me a letter 1,000 years ago and founded a town and everything, that's not you. That's not you at all. You're you. I mean, Alangi went off and had a whole life and grew up and everything, and And the last thing you remember was asking me to dance, and then the next thing you remember is me jumping right in your arms. So, as far as I'm concerned, you're the same exact Salinger that I left in that moment, that disappeared from everybody's memory except mine. Because when Esmond called me, he said I'd been out there alone, but I don't forget you. I never forgot you, and I know you from anybody, Salinger, and you are the only Salinger moral.
It's kind. That's all. You didn't forget me, but it seems like all of history forgot the me that fell through. He just kind of stands up and gets another cupful for both of them. So let's keep walking.
Yeah,
See what everybody else is. Maybe they're still trying to chat with trees.
sure. I'll follow you anywhere.
Yeah, before too long, those who want to have maybe come together outside of the cider. You can see that Samsa's headed down to the orchard, and you see that Fane's like sitting in one of the fields. He's got the shield of Brunhilde in his lap. Albert's kind of off, sitting on a fallen log, and looks as though he's taken out some supplies, and he's maybe trying to fletch some arrows.
I want to heal before I rest, so now or never if anybody needs it. I need it.
I need it. Beth is napping, but she's bloody looking.
But she'll. Oh shoot! You're napping right now. Okay.
Out of character, are we trying to take a short rest here? Because I could start doing Song of Rest and give everybody an extra hit dice.
It's something you could do. In terms of, yeah, just raise your hand, I guess, if you're bloodied.
I'm not bloodied, but I have a significant amount of points gone. But before Beth napped, if it seemed safe to do spells, she probably would do some healing on herself, so I could roll for that.
There's not any kind of hurry, like you can heal yourself whenever you feel like it.
I'm trying to find a nice way for her to be like, Albert, are you feeling? She's like, I really want to fix your arm, but not if it steals your magic. Is what her like vibey vibe is thinking, because his magic was the same color as his arm. But what if his memory is being affected by his arm?
I didn't have a point before. Esmond would have been walking with Albrecht during this time, just kind of following and listening to him speak, and eventually ritually casting Detect Magic at some point, both to kind of look at the general area of Glen Hollow, but also to kind of like look over his arm if he would be amenable to it.
Okay, let's say this. Yeah, well, let's say that Albert's sitting on a fallen log, Esmond's nearby, Araya is approaching, so you're within earshot. Yeah, so you've cast Detect Magic, is that right, Esmond?
Yes, I will ping it.
Okay. Yeah, you can see that you see a magical aura around the bow that's leaning against the log next to him, and against the dagger that's on his belt. You also, at some point, as he's like working on crafting some arrows, he kind of gestures a little bit, and there's like yeah, you catch a glimpse of a magical spell, low, like probably a cantrip, you have to guess. And you do see when he does it, there's a glow of blue kind of from his veins, and we'll say that's around when Araya is approaching. You also, yeah, I think you do hear him also murmuring, kind of under his breath, and he says, Zira, Toshka, Nissa, Albert, Adara, Zira, Toshka, Nissa, and just seems to repeat it to himself.
The spell, the low level spell that he cast on himself, is that what you said?
He's like casting it while he's working on like fletching the arrows. So
am I able to determine like what school of magic it is through detect magic?
Yeah, 1 second. Transmutation magic. It's making like some there's kind of flowers blooming kind of near the top of the arrow shaft, but he uses it to sort of twine onto the arrow. Like he's using it like utility.
Albrecht, what are those other names that you're whispering?
It stops. It says, they're important.
Why do you keep saying them?
I don't want to forget them.
How long have you been here? Do you think?
It's hard to know in this place. Long enough that I know that Jen's waiting.
You seem more yourself in this place. Why would you leave it and put yourself in danger out there?
It's nicer here than most places I've found. This place isn't mine. I'm searching for something I have to find.
And what is it that you're looking for?
I don't remember anymore.
Is it related to that cloth that you had? Silver and orange?
Kind of reaches down, takes it from his belt. Just thumb over it. I think so.
I'll stop bothering you. I think we're all going to find time to rest. You said that we can just kind of situate ourselves anywhere, and so long as we don't start a fire, at least.
Kind to this place. I'll be kind to you.
I'll be back to check on you in a bit. Esmond stands and begins to leave to find everyone else.
Araya was walking up slowly.
Zarm, is it a bad thing or a good thing? Or...
Are you talking to Esmond or are you talking to Albert?
Talking to as he's like, because he's like, let me take a look at it. Give me 10 minutes and then come back.
Did I get a read off of his arm with detect magic?
Interesting. Maybe. Well, we'll say there was definitely a relationship between the spell that he cast and the arm.
Okay, so whatever his arm is, it is a source of his magic of some sort at the very least. But
yeah,
as far as like
you'd probably infer that.
Okay. it appears to be the source of his magical abilities. They seem maybe druidic in nature. It's hard to be fully sure. I don't know if it's a good thing, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think it's affecting his ability to remember? He seems so confused.
He's actually more stable in this space than he is out there, I think. It seems that way, at least.
Okay. I don't want to do more harm than good, and so, do you need any healing? We've been running for so long, but I'm worn. It's more than tired, I guess.
I actually have got something I could, I don't know, we could pick the three worst looking people, and I can give them a little cat nap before we move on to do or decide on anything else.
Well, I was just thinking I would heal before I sleep, because then, usually I can get a little something back. I could heal before I fall asleep and it would do good, but I don't have a whole lot. I'm gonna see if he needs any, because he was in that maybe longer than we were. Albert, do you need any healing at all? Just simple healing, nothing else. Are you hurt?
Mend my wounds. Would be most appreciated.
Yeah, of course. I think I'll start with the easiest bit. And she sort of summons the water and briefly looks at the trees around her, but then using the sacred water, between the two of them, just two dice of it, and then I'm gonna do one for Kibeth next.
Yeah, Kibeth still has open wounds.
Okay, and how much? Let me know how much you're looking for.
I'll give that to him. So 3 plus 5. But Sacred Waters is just one of my classes. So 3 plus 5 is 7. 15 points of heal. Okay, that's so pathetic. Whatever. Okay, 15 for him. 15 for me. What the F?
The trees don't like you healing.
I guess not.
Who do you think was pretty bad off? I don't know. Kibeth took a lot of... You did too, though. No, you burned a lot of things. Are you okay?
I might give myself a little nap along with. I don't know. You've burned a lot of energy. Maybe you, me, and Kibeth would benefit the most from the nap that I can cast. Let's go over. You can heal everyone who needs it first, and then I can help us rest up some.
Yeah, let's structure it like this just to make it easy. I think figure out mechanically what you guys are gonna do, and then we'll flavor it with the little opinions.
I'm gonna cast Catnap on 3 people.
Well, Kibeth gets 22 points of healing because I rolled great for you.
Ishtalon's gonna push for a long rest because they're all exhausted.
Peach is playing Song of Rest, whether it's a long rest or a short rest, which is going to give you all an additional 1d6 if you're rolling hit dice.
I'm going to burn through all of my remaining spell slots to heal. So I'm so low. I'm still low.
That got me 1 point shy of being fully healed, so thank you.
Yeah, I would just say, just because it's going to be kind of everyone doing this kind of in a cluster, just out of character mechanically, do what you guys want to do, and then once you figure out what you're doing, you can kind of roleplay through it.
She's going to so she's exhausted. Araya is exhausted, invisibly so, but she takes the time to just check everyone, placing her hand gently at either their shoulder or on their hand, or any place where there's like a visible wound, maybe left over from the plants where it held them. And you see just gentle golden light, maybe in the palm of her hand where she touches you, and moves on to the next person, and the next person, and you see her shoulders hanging heavier with each person as she works her way and settles down for herself, and the last little bit healing herself.
Yeah. Seeing this, Casey says, let's rest for a full 8 if we can. I think we can all use it. But we need a watch. Can't all be asleep at the same time.
Yeah, I can stay up for first watch. I'm not hurt too bad, and I'm plenty awake and aware. I can, she's got her hurdy-gurdy out, and she's playing a soft, kind of sonorous tune, very lullaby-esque. But yeah, I don't want to be alone, though. She go in twos, I think. She cuts eyes at Salinger.
Yeah, so are we short resting or are we long resting?
Probably long.
Okay. Yeah.
Before we long rest, Esmond will be casting Catnap on himself, Araya, and Kibeth. It's basically the benefits of a short rest in 10 minutes. So I know that you just did healing, but if you have any abilities that reset after a short rest, you would get that benefit.
Oh.
I know that Esmond will be doing Arcane Recovery, and then I imagine that would lead into the long rest for the evening.
I like the plan. I might actually. Okay, I gotta do some rolls, but I might actually just so hurt right now.
Ishlan will also probably just volunteer for whichever watch shift happens to take place when it's actually night.
So I would say, honestly, I'm pretty banged up. I'd rather take the morning watch if possible. As he rolls up one of his sleeves, and you can see just a ton of discoloration from the vine stabbings. He's still barely above bloodied.
Yeah, take the rest, and Peach will officially cast Song of Rest while she's playing that gentle lullaby. So as we go into an hour of this, everybody would benefit from an extra d6. And if it's a long rest, it's just flavor. She's planning to stay up for the first watch, though. She's doing all right.
Wow, it's really just the same roll a lot for me. I don't understand. I'm not gonna argue. I'm gonna take it.
Does Song of Rest also have a bonus from the YMDT? That's rules.
No. Question. Yeah, I think structurally that works.
Cool. I'm 7 level bard, so we can add a 7 to that. Any other modifiers I'm missing, Press? Do you remember?
For Song of Healing? Or Song of Rest?
Right, yeah. Or for any healing? No? All right.
No, I think
Awesome.
it's YMDT stuff.
Well, thank you.
I just rolled my level 1s. I could roll some level 2s. Does anybody need anything else? Or if you're good, she's gonna pass out. Okay. We'll have checked everyone, including, well, Charity. Flicked holy water up to sleeping Quebec. Rest, my child.
Esmond won't take the first watch, but he will take a watch at some point.
So Kibeth's already asleep. Araya's already asleep. Esmond's not taking the first watch. Salandra's not taking the first watch. Ishlan is taking middle. So it would be Casey and Peach then for first watch. And do we only need 3?
I could take a watch when I wake up.
It's probably let's see. Esmond, you don't have dark vision, right?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Then I guess it would be Salandra and I get Salandra morning. So I guess between Kibeth, Araya, and Esmond, we can fight over who gets to have watch with Salandra or with Ishlan.
I'm happy.
Oh, I forgot we have Samson Fane too.
I'll do it with Ishbal.
And we
I can
have,
sit with Sal.
And then I guess Esmond and Samsel for a 4th watch. That sounds about right. 2 hours watch each. And before they go to bed, and when this hour or so where they're kind of milling around and chatting and whatnot, I think Ishlan would go to talk to Albert as well.
I think as Ishtalan is heading over to Albrecht, she catches a brief snippet of Casey talking to one of the tree people. I mean, but the thing about fire is it's not as bad. You know, a lot of people are scared of fire, which makes no sense to me. I mean, even with you, the sun, which gives you nutrients, it's made of fire. You know, and it kind of fades off as she moves away.
I really wanted to see roll of persuasion. It's really fun to see.
Esmond has an aneurysm listening to this explanation of how the sun works.
Sorry, I was also kind of doing the character sheet stuff on my side as well. So did you guys decide ultimately to sort of a long rest here?
Yes.
So long as Casey doesn't light something on fire and get us kicked out halfway in.
I won't let him. I'm on watch with him. I won't let him set a fire.
Spidey sense. I'm asleep. I'm full catnapped. He's like, "Are you willing to take a nap?" And I was like, "Yes, absolutely."
Okay. Yeah, give us a little as people are settling down to rest. Give us a Casey and Peach scene.
So as folks are settling down to rest, Peach is sort of still plucking away at the strings of the hurdy-gurdy, but the resonance has sort of died down a bit. She's, calming it down for everybody falling asleep. She's at the edge of where they're all sleeping and looking out into the Feywild, I suppose.
I think they understood the value,
A fire?
Cooking food alone is, worth its weight in gold, but
I don't think you need to be aiming to be these folks Prometheus when already you're the king of up to a whole group of kobolds. I think you might get a little too full of yourself if you go full god. Also, I don't think these folks need fire. I think they are how they are, if they are. Who are we to disturb the peace that exists here? It's nice. Or at least nicer than being strangled to death while imagining a place that don't exist.
yeah, it's definitely one of the top 10 worst places I've woken up.
Yeah. Hey, Casey, how are you doing? I know usually we keep it real casual, but since it's been a long time since Shalati, and with Salinger come back, it got me thinking that maybe Shalati could come back too, and then I figured maybe, I don't know, I would check to see how you were feeling about it all, because I can't imagine it anymore.
Well, I mean that's the plan. We're gonna get her back. Swing by Lux. Talk to the Queen a bit, then head to the tower.
You really think that's still going to be the plan? I thought our plan right now was barely stay alive and maybe make it back to our own world at some point, let alone actually talk to the Queen of Lux. I don't know how feasible that is.
This is just a slight detour is all. All good adventures have detours. You just kind of have to roll with it.
That's true. I hope we do get Shalati back. I think that we can, too. Esmond can do amazing things. I just don't do anything reckless, right, Casey? We can figure it all out together.
Well, as said, that we couldn't really have one without the other, when both, but so we'll get Shalati back. The trick will be keeping
Ez said you couldn't have. Ez said we couldn't have Shalati and Ixtalan.
That's what he thinks, but I'm pretty sure he's wrong about that. And he kind of has to be, because the only way we can really get Shalati back is if Ishtalan's still around too. It's kind of always been the case.
Is there any version where Shalati and Ixtalan both survive that ship?
Well, yeah, this version, that's what we're doing.
Right, of course. look, this Ixalan who travels with us, this Ixalan, you know, she isn't some grown-up version of the Ixalan that we lost. She had her own life before us. She's from a different Sheps than we're from, and she's amazing, and she's incredible, and she's how I wish Ixalan grew up to be, right? But she's not the Ixalan who died, and I don't know how long someone who's not from this world could stay in this world. I want it to work, though. I truly, truly want it to work. And who knows?
I mean, we'll make it work.
Yeah. You know, I suppose I know who is brilliant, right? And he's gonna prove himself wrong.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I
The
think,
music ended kind of perfectly.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it
it
was
was like,
perfect
yeah,
ending.
fade out.
Who was the second watch?
Ishtalon had wanted to go talk to Albrecht before sleep.
Oh. Yeah. Let's do that.
I think she pops in probably not too long after Esmond and Araya leave, so he gets like no rest, no downtime in between people coming in to talk to him. And seeing him, I mean, is he still making arrows?
Yeah, I'll say he's kind of just finished one. He's looking it over.
Seems like something I need to do too. Especially given everything around here, although it's slightly annoying that that plant creature did not take or was a bit stronger to my arrows than I would have liked. Good shot though.
You as well, from what I saw.
Who do you think is better? She grins and says, I usually train in the morning after I get up. I take Fane and go beat the crap out of him and then practice my shot. So if you want to join, you are welcome.
Which one is Ben?
He's a dwarf. Is there a thing about names here? Because this guy, this creature that we met, he was very cagey about giving a name.
There's power names for some.
But not all.
Perhaps not for us.
What is your name then?
Albert. My name is Albert.
Albert. I'm Ishtalon. And she comes over and sits cross-legged next to him and helps herself to whatever supplies he has for the arrows. She starts to make it as well. So, how long have you been here?
That asked me the same question.
Oh. This might be a lot of repeat questions then.
Your company. How did you come to be here? Where are you going?
We grew up together mostly. I don't know how we got here. We were walking and then And then we were gradually in another place that got warmer. And the sky was not the same color. The tower was still there, but the two moons were there. There's been issues with tears opening up between different worlds. Have you seen more of that happening here?
The nature of this place is to offer you a path and lead you into your doom. I came here by mistake. But describe more this pathway you saw.
Well, it was just a path through an ordinary forest in Lux. We were heading northwest, back home. And the change was so imperceptible, I do not think any of us truly noticed it until it was too late, and we only realized it when we came upon a clearing with a dead being, maybe yay big, skin. I don't actually remember what the guy looked like. And then later we encountered another humanoid who looked like the same sort of being. And he told us various things, as the snow had come in and offered us a way to get out if we gave him some cookies, took us to a fork in the path, or took us on the path, then left us at the fork, and told us to concentrate on where we wanted to go. That we all had to be unified in mind to get where we wanted to go. And I thought that we had. It seemed that we walked down this path sometime, to me at least, and then suddenly we were in the city that we wanted to go to. But it turned out to be a dream from that plan. Peach, the girl with the red hair, who did not trust you, she said that we had actually walked for a long time on that path, and it kept repeating. We kept seeing the same things over and over until we eventually decided to leave the path. But I do not remember any of this. I do not think any of the rest of us do either. But she seems to have a tendency to remember things that none of us do.
Sounds as though all your misfortunes, you have in fact been fortunate. This place will take from you. And hungers as a beast does. It will lead you astray. Bring death to you and yours. Stay.
How have you survived? What did it take from you?
I can only imagine the reason I am alive is because I have been lucky. There are things here. I glimpsed your company fight. You're strong. But you're no match for so many of the things in this place.
I would not be surprised. I knew a man who... I think he may have been here based on the way that he swore any time the Feywild came up. And he was not the type to show much fear. Do you want... I feel like I have seen a portal between the Feywild and another place that is maybe just as dangerous, but perhaps less tricksy. Do you want to come with us if we find it, when we find it?
If you have some means to escape this place, I would gladly take it.
Maybe. That's what we're looking for, but we need to find one of these tears first. Have you seen one anywhere nearby? Or anywhere, really? I guess time isn't an issue.
In the way that you described snow. remember Snow. A long time ago. In a different place.
Have you seen...
The creature you described. Sounds like a chorus. Liars, through and through.
That figures. If you have not seen a place with snow, have you seen a tear or a portal, something that leads to a place that has a strange sky and I think a red sky, maybe, and pieces of land floating in the air? Or was it a yellow sky?
I've seen no such thing as that. There are creatures that live in this place. And I think for them, those that are part of this world, they can find their way to where they wish to go. Those of us who are not part of this world, it's finding the way is elusive.
So it really is just luck then. We just keep wandering until we find something. Maybe go as mad as you.
If you had something to barter with, there are those who will trade.
What kinds of things were traded? I offered the candle, but nobody seemed interested.
There are some creatures who often favor that which is sweet.
The quartet seemed to be one.
Sometimes they will ask for strange and deceptive things, seeking to gain.
Gain what?
I cannot always think to know the desires of the creatures of this place. They're enigmatic.
You mentioned something about a king. What was that?
Yes. There are things in this place. Things akin to gods. It is whispered that one of them was slain. And from a long sleep another has arisen. Dangerous and terrible.
So there's this area, this place is in the middle of a... the thing that arisen is not something with wings and like a big tentacly mouth, is it?
I imagine not.
Really beautiful, very fearsome.
There's much that is beautiful and fearsome in this place, but this is a thing of beasts. It's called It's called the Fanged King.
The Fanged King, the new one?
Yes.
Have you ever seen... I don't know if I remember this exactly, both in character and out. I think it was like an orc woman, and she was with these two giant... some kind of beast, I think? Some kind of, like... I don't remember exactly. Out of character, I'm trying to describe the people that
We saw
on that,
wolves,
yeah.
right? It was wolves.
I thought right before it faded that there was also like an orc woman who showed up and like was looking at us before it went away.
It was like an orc with like large moose antlers. It was a
Okay.
it was a guy.
Oh, it was a guy. Okay. Well, orcs, far distance.
Race.
It's an orc with antlers with wolves.
It's not known to me.
What do you remember?
There. Stony beach. Snow. Castle walls. I remember too, a place of sand. Scent of spice and trading. Some children on a market. I was among comrades. A woman dear to us needed our help. Long ago, like a dream.
Is that where you need to go
Yes,
when you get back?
yes, that's what I need to find again.
Well, I don't know if your world is our world. Maybe you're just in another continent like that other person that we talked to. But like I said, you don't seem like you belong here. So maybe you should come with us when we leave. She finishes off the arrow that she is working on currently and tucks it into her quiver, stands up. Powders are not my favorite, I guess, but you said they're safe to eat, right? I won't, eat them and then be stuck here for 7 years. Shit. I'm really hungry.
And who was on the third watch? If there were more. So Esmond?
So there's Esmond and Samsel, and then Array and Salinger at the last one.
I don't know if Sal is awake.
Oh no, did he sit on the couch?
I am here.
With a little sleep burr in your voice.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll do a quick Samsel and Esmond, and then we'll do Array and Salinger. Samsel takes on a bite of pear. It's so delicious. These are like the juiciest pears I've ever had.
I don't doubt that for a moment.
Oh, hey, you want to see something crazy? I found it in the orchard.
Sure.
Follow me. She goes running.
Esmond will leave Zephyrus to monitor the immediate camp area to notify him if anything comes up, and will follow after Samsel.
She leads you into the center of the orchard. The trees, they're all pretty big, but you see one that's like much larger than the other. It's like a 30-foot pear tree. But where there's a thick cluster at the center, it sort of obscures this thing that only comes into view as you actually venture into the heart of the orchard itself. You see that the tree is growing thick, clustered and tangled together. What they form is something it's hard to believe when you first set your eyes on it. It's half buried in the ground, leaning half on its side. Something about the tall trunks of trees and the way their leaves are growing it's a ship. It has 2 sails. It's a big tangle of roots and intertwining branches and tree trunks. But it's definitely a ship.
Well, that's out of place.
Isn't that weird? I mean, this whole place kind of looks like a village. It's like it's trees that are. It's like they're trying to. I don't know. They're trying to be something else.
Esmond will investigate the ship further. Are there any like additional details to kind of like make out? Like there are trees in the shape of people. So is there like finer details to be found on this ship?
You reach around really close, then you see there is a tangle of vines that makes out a name where a ship's name would be. So it's the Tide Song. Oh, press.
I was totally meaning for it to go feast in the orchards and pears and then sleep in a tree. But see, is there a crow's nest on this pseudo ship that she can just
Yeah.
decide to sleep in?
Yeah, you see Ishlon sleeping up in the crow's nest? Okay.
Oh, this is a big ship. It's not like a model ship. This is like a full.
No, it's like full-sized.
Oh, I was. Oh, okay. That's fucking weird. Got it. Tide Song. That's. I guess that's a romantic name for a ship. Albrecht described this place as a memory, not his, but a memory. So
Yeah, he said something like that, but that guy's crazy.
I don't think it's fair to call him crazy. He's certainly more stable here in Glen Hollow. I think he's just been lost and confused for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, geez, how long can a person be in this place without? It isn't at all.
There is no consistent answer among any of the studies that I've actually read up on. It's kind of all over the place.
This is really cool though, look. She like runs with her arms out and runs around it a few times.
Is there a place to like board and walk into it and through it and just like kind of look, basically just like walk around or through the ship?
Yeah, you'd have to climb up a little bit, but it's like kind of on its side for this, so like you can kind of.
Yeah, just gonna walk through it. Just take a look at any, just looking for any points of interest in the ship. You know what? I'm gonna look for people-shaped trees, I guess.
Yeah, so the ship doesn't have any people in it, but you do see that it has the look of like a lived-in kind of thing. Like you see there's a room with cots, and there's very clearly a cargo hold. There's looks like people would eat food. It's like a strangely large table to have on a ship. The stairs are designed in a really weird way. It's all hard to tell. Which way do you go up that way? Oh.
How the fuck do these work?
Wait. This makes no sense. In the back of the ship, there's almost like a stable.
Yeah, who brings you wouldn't keep animals on a ship. Not for an extended period at least. That's this thing seems pretty insane. Even by the standards that we've experienced recently.
And look, there's this little room under the stairs.
That doesn't look very fun at all.
And look how big the captain's quarters are. That's like way bigger than any other room.
For some reason, this feels like it tracks. I don't know. This this place is strange. We should head back to the camp.
Yeah, come on, let's eat some
shouldn't be
pears.
too far away.
Something's running off.
Yeah, I'll follow after scene.
Well, Rhea, Sal.
Sal, you promised to do watch with me.
She's like shaking him awake.
I'm up.
Do you feel okay? Do you feel like you rested enough?
No, but I did agree to make sure everybody else stays safe. He kind of groans, favoring his right side. Gets up.
Maybe you've been lost in time and made it back. And now we're lost in the Feywild, and we'll make it back, right?
Well, in my case, Ez pulled me back, so
Well, we have an
maybe
Ez
he
with
can-
us.
we do. Maybe he can push us instead of pulling.
Scoot us back.
If you're looking for reassurance, yeah, I think if anybody can figure it out.
I'm trying to not be upset with the change of plans and then the detour and then the other. It's just I don't want to go to Shepherd's End for no reason, but now I think we'll never go. And I'll never know for sure.
Yeah, that was a tough choice. It seemed to get us.
Tougher choices.
I was gonna say nowhere, but yeah, I guess that's true too.
Saloisa's book says some not great things.
That was a hard right turn there.
No, but it's just I wanted to go to the temple to really know for sure, but now I sort of don't want to go at all. So maybe it's okay if we don't return to
Hold on,
Shepherd's End.
take 2 steps back.
No.
What kind of hard things? You ran past that faster than I've even seen Kabeth run towards a cookie. Which,
Well,
still, giving up 7 of them, it's more will than I had.
she writes a lot of things about her past and what she did at the end of the war with demons. You know that she's kind of amazing, right?
Yeah, she's like the oldest person I ever met. She experienced things that I only read about. That's why it's not the only reason I always wanted to come up to see you, but it was not a reason that I liked visiting the temple.
Yeah. She's the other than maybe Avina, she's the best
part about the temple, and then without her there, it's kind of, well why even? No, it's just that what she wrote, I don't know for certain, is everything, and I need to know some things before I need to confirm something for myself. But I thought that if I go back to the temple, I go through the portal, and I save all my sisters, and even the ones I don't like very much, that it sort of would mean that she's right, but that she was really right about me.
You are dancing around whatever you
I
ultimately want to
know, and
say.
I am, and it's only because
Like a mouse dancing around cheese. You gotta let me finish my go on. What is it that you need to confirm, that you need to know that she said, that has you tying yourself up in knots?
well, that I'm not worth becoming a priestess at all.
She wrote that.
No, she wrote a lot of things, but maybe that the reason they brought me to the temple wasn't so that I'd become a priestess, is so that I would not become something worse.
Well, why are you worrying about that at all? Look at who you became. You're the nicest person I know. Like,
You know,
sometimes annoyingly nice, to be honest.
It's how I steal things, but I don't mean
Your tail now, come on now. And sometimes my right knee squeaks in a funny way when I sit down. You can't control everything about yourself.
Do you need me to maybe look at that?
I'm pretty sure it's fine. The clicking that started, also probably fine.
So you really, in your heart of hearts, believe that you are who you make yourself to be, right?
Absolutely. What would be the point of any of this if that wasn't the case?
Whoa. There's the things that you mean to do and the things that you unintentionally do that are terrible also.
And you feel bad about those things that you do that are terrible, right?
Of course. Of
There
course.
you have it. And you try to not do them again?
Yeah. Is that enough?
You're good.
It's not so simple as that.
Well, if you spend all your time philosophizing and reading through books about the doctrine of various religions, yeah, it gets pretty complicated, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to you doing the best you can over and over and over again while never being good enough, and just being okay with that. You're better than most.
I'm trying. Okay, yeah. I'm trying my best. And that's enough.
Now give me back whatever you just stole.
I honestly,
I'm
I'm sitting
messing with
right
you,
here.
Rhea. Come on now.
But let me check. Ruffles through her sleeves. No, it's just bread. Ooh, bread and pears would go very well together.
Yeah, that would.
So you're the you're also what you make yourself, and then and that's okay, right? And every step of the way, you're making yourself a hero, and that's what you wanted to be, and you're happy.
Yeah, sure, I'm getting there. But y'all did get statues, so that was cool.
Are you sad that you didn't get a heroic statue?
Of course I'm sad there wasn't a statue of me.
Well, I think that
Oh, Salinger, are you secretly really humble?
Are you gonna brag about yourself when this is all done? Or we have to brag about you for you? Wait, are we not doing our job? Do we need to be... Wait. Sal, you were too humble. You didn't want to talk about how amazing you were, and then that's why you didn't get a statue.
Right. We're both getting a little bit too deep into ourselves.
No, but I'm
and we
pretty
need to
sure
go
I'm
back
not
to the thing that-
wrong. Oh, Sal, you only didn't get a statue because you just didn't acknowledge how awesome you are. I'll make sure they make a statue of you. If we live...
Salois's spear specifically is built to kill demons.
And that's where we'll end for tonight.
Amazing.
So good.
Perfectly ended.
Such a good session, everybody.
Yeah.
So many good
job.
scenes.
That was fun.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Salinger said he doesn't have a statue.
I thought I gave you enough of a pep talk, Sal. You're still feeling salty about your lack of statue.
He had a statue in our collective hallucination, though, so clearly
That's
that means
true.
that we thought him worthy.
Right, yes.
It's
So
'cause...
you at least had one in my mind.
You had the whole
Maybe
town.
all of your minds, in fact. Yeah.
Before I hit any buttons, do we get a full long rest, GM?
Yeah, you get yourselves a long rest.
Oh, we're no longer exhausted.
Good
You're so
job.
kind.
Give me back those spells.